Hey everybody, welcome back to Tailwater TV. Today we're out in the woods, we got some water around us, so I want to do a video on how to throw a bait caster. When I was first learning to do it, it's hard to find really good information about how to throw it. So I want to kind of run through that. This is the Lew's American Hero combo. It's a great way to start. I think it's about 80, 90 bucks. And a good portion of the proceeds from this actually is donated to veterans and military charities through Lew's. So it's really cool. It's camouflage, awesome little setup, great way to get started. 7:1 gear ratio. But how do you cast it correctly without throwing a big rat's nest? Well, when you first get it, there's two things you need to keep in mind. There's two things you want to look at, and that's first this little knob right here. This is the cast control knob, and then this one over here. These are your brakes, your magnetic brakes over here on this side. So the first thing you want to do is you want to set up correctly. Now, when you get this out of the box, out of the package store, or come by our shop and pick one up, this is usually a little bit loose. So the first thing you want to do is you want to tie a bait on, and you want to tighten down your cast control knob so that when you hit the button, that bait doesn't move. Then you want to take your magnets and turn them about halfway. They're going to be in full free spool. You want to turn them about halfway. And then to tune it, because you want to tune it so that this bait will drop ever so slowly. So I've got the thumb bar depressed, and I'm going to just loosen this cast control knob little by little until that bait, reel it up a little bit, that bait, see how it just slowly drops. That's where where you want to be. And if you're new to it, you might even want to get it a little bit slower. So it's just barely creeping down when you hit that button. Just like that. And now we're ready to start casting. Now the first way you're going to want to cast, the easiest way to cast is a sidearm. You're going to be standing like this, keep your elbow tucked, okay? Arm at about a 90-degree angle, and it's all in the wrist. And it's kind of hard to explain, but it's a rolling of the wrist. It's kind of an underhand, think like almost like you're skipping a rock, just like this, a little underhand move, and just real easily, you just want to kind of flip it. Just pitch it out there, sidearm. You'll feel your arm, your hand kind of move. You see, as you do it more and more, you get faster at it and faster at it, and you become more accurate. Originally, you're going to probably throw it left of everything you want to throw it to. So when you pick out a target, you'll probably throw it 30, 40 feet left of that. But eventually, you'll start to feel it in your wrist of how to aim and how to get that where you're going, and it becomes a very accurate way to cast. Elbow tucked, it's just the wrist. See that? Elbow tucked, just like this. See that? Now then when you want to move on to the big boy stuff, and it's funny, when I was first throwing a bait caster, I threw everything sidearm. Everything was sidearm. I'd sit in there and I'd just go like this and throw it sidearm. And then one day, I was doing this and I cast, and I think it was to my right, something blew up on top, and I reeled in real quick and I went. And I threw it overhand. And then I was like, how did I do that? But that is kind of the next step, and that's where you can start to really throw baits a long way. And there's different ways to cast depending on your lure. So when you cast overhand, you start in the same area. 90-degree angle, elbow tucked. As you come up to the top, you're going to put your second hand on here for leverage. You're going to come up like this, and as you come forward, you want the reel to turn sideways, and you don't do this. You actually, when you get to the top, you stop right about there, and it flings the bait. So it just goes, see where my rod tip's pointing up? It's almost like, think of it like those guys, if you were throwing a lacrosse ball, you kind of and stop and it snaps. It's very similar in a lot of ways. You kind of watch somebody throw a fly rod where it's 10, 2, 2, 10, 2, 10, same idea. Just boom, just like that. And you can throw it a long way. Now, as you get better at it, you can loosen your brakes up a little bit. The key to it, though, is your thumb. Now, your thumb kind of becomes your way of not overthrowing it and not getting a backlash. Your thumb rests on the spool just ever so gently as you throw it. And that allows you to be able to put less and less brakes on it and throw it further. This is a fantastic way to learn to fish. You can fish fresh or salt water like this. Bait caster is extremely accurate. You get a lot of backbone, a lot of leverage when you set the hook, and they're fantastic. I was hoping I'd hook a fish here, but it's really cold. We're post-frontal, and I'm telling you, it's not exactly the most fishy environment when it's like this. But this is a fantastic way to do it. And listen, if you get a chance, come by the shop. We'll give you some lessons. We'll show you how to throw a little bit better. So check it out. come by and see us. We're on US 19 just north of Curlew Road, north end of the Dick Norris Buick GMC parking lot. And come by and pick up one of these cool bait casters, and we'll show you how to throw it.